You're not gonna believe this. Nick Kyrgios is back on the court, but is he really the same player we remember? Or has his time in the media, his injuries, and his outspoken personality changed him forever? His return to Indian Wells has got the tennis world talking, and trust me, this is one comeback story you don't want to miss. Stick around, because we are breaking down his first interview back, and let's just say, it's classic Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios, one of the most polarizing figures in tennis, has made his much-anticipated return at Indian Wells. It's been a long road back for the Aussie, and while he's stoked to be back in the mix, there's a sense that he knows things might never be the same. "This time of year has always been special to me," he said. "Indian Wells, Miami, I've had some of my best results at these tournaments. The level of tennis I play in the States is usually top tier. But here's the thing, he knows he can't take these tournaments for granted anymore. After multiple injuries, surgeries, and time away from the game, there's a realization that every match could be his last. You don't know how many more times you'll be in these moments, playing against the best in the world," he admitted. "Every time I step out here, I take it all in, the stadiums, the courts, the fans. And let's be real, the fans here are some of the best in the world." But let's not forget, while Kyrgios was off the court, he wasn't exactly sitting around doing nothing. He was making waves in the media world, and let's be honest, he was bloody good at it. His knack for controversy, brutal honesty, and deep understanding of the sport made him a natural in front of the camera. "I always knew I had a talent for media," he said with a smirk. "I love stirring the pot a bit, but more than that, I like giving people a real look at what happens behind the scenes. I've been in this world since I was 7. I've played through different generations, from Federer and Nadal to Alcaraz and Rune. There's a lot I can share, and I reckon fans deserve to see it." He's not wrong. Tennis has always been a sport that keeps things hush-hush, but Kyrgios has never played by the rules. His insights and behind-the-scenes takes are exactly what the sport needs to attract new fans and keep things exciting. But here's where it gets interesting. Has his time in media changed the way he sees tennis? Kyrgios had a classic moment during practice recently. He was hitting with a young Japanese player, and without realizing it, he started commentating out loud, mid-rally. "I was just talking through the points, like I was calling the match, and the bloke was cracking up," he laughed. "I didn't even realize I was doing it, it's become second nature now." It's a hilarious insight into how his two worlds, media and playing, are starting to merge. But despite all the fun, there's a realization that his career is at a crossroads. Physically, it's been a rough ride. Just as he was starting to feel good, reality hit again. "I actually felt great, but second last point in practice, I felt my wrist again," he said, shaking his head. "Can't seem to catch a bloody break with my body." And this is where things get serious. We've seen it before, players like Juan Martín del Potro, Dominic Thiem, and Kei Nishikori have struggled to return from wrist surgeries. Some never really made it back to their peak. Kyrgios knows this, and he's not sugarcoating it. "I understand the challenge. It's tough. You look at someone like Thiem, he was a Grand Slam champ, and even he struggled to get back to his best. But if there's one thing we know about Kyrgios, it's that he's never lacked confidence. Even with the setbacks, he still backs himself. "I still want to win. I still want to make noise," he said. "But now, I understand how much work it takes just to get to the start line. This isn't like before, I'm not coming in expecting to be a contender. I just want to get out there, have a crack, and see where I'm at." That's the mindset shift. He's not here to prove anything to anyone. He's here to enjoy the ride. But that doesn't mean he's lost his edge. And let's be real, even when Kyrgios isn't looking for attention, it finds him. "I open social media, and all I see is people talking about me," he joked. "Didn't ask for it, but it's there." Love him or hate him, he's still one of the most talked about players in the sport. And that's why his comeback is so intriguing. Will he shock everyone and go deep in the tournament? Or is this just the beginning of a farewell tour? So, what do you reckon? Will Kyrgios pull off a comeback for the ages, or is his best tennis behind him? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more raw, unfiltered takes on the tennis world, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. This is going to be one hell of a ride, and you won't want to miss a second of it. Cheers!